welcome those of you that are joining us. We're going to start here in just about another minute or so. We want to make sure everybody has a chance to come into the meeting, and starting with a little bit of a emotional health well-being startup here. So take advantage of the minute to kind of calm yourself and to think about what's going to be going on. All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to give it just another minute or so because I'm sure that people are just getting ready to come on in. Thanks to all of you that are here already and are waiting for us. We'll give it another minute and then we'll get started. Oh, I think I started it all over again. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead. We've got about 50 of us here right now, and I'm sure we'll have more join as we go along. And I'm going to go ahead and stop that. So welcome all of you that are here and joining us this evening for our February webinar. This is our 10th grade support team joining you this evening, and we are so thankful that you are here with us and appreciate the fact that you have chosen to do that on this evening. So one of the things that's really important to us is acknowledging the social emotional learning components of what we're doing at school and within our team. And so taking a moment to sort of get ourselves ready for the next 45 minutes or so is not a terrible thing to do. So thanks, and let's get in. Okay, so here's what we got going on this evening. It is a packed agenda. We are going to be doing a deep dive into some of the counseling pieces that affect 10th graders, and that would include understanding graduation pathways and thinking about why JEL might be right for your student, and looking at Naviance, and also doing some SAT thinking and the differences between SAT and ACT and a number of other things. So as a note before the end here, our next class of 2023 webinar will be March the 22nd, and that will be again at 7 o'clock p.m. And that is going to be a combined meeting with our 9th grade team, and we are going to be doing a mental health focus that evening. So we'll be talking a lot about mental health and the mental health support services that we have at North Central, and sort of be conditioning or sort of thinking about that from the lens of our underclassmen. The upperclassmen are doing a similar meeting, and I think it's actually tomorrow or this week. So it's something that's really important to us. We'll have guests visiting as well. So our panelists this evening, again, my name is Greg Lineweaver. That for those of you that have not joined us in the past, I am the assistant principal in charge of the 10th grade. We're also joined this evening by Mr. Matthew, our counselor for letters A through GER, Mr. Newsom, who is our counselor for GES through PAT, Miss Minert, who is our counselor for PAU to Z, and Miss Salazar is joining us this evening, and she is our coordinator of college and career counseling. And also Miss Dodd is here, and she is our supervisor of student programs, and she is at JEL. And we have a guest visitor this evening. Miss Vincent is back with us for the evening, and she is the interim assistant principal at West Lane Middle School, and she is going to be watching out for our chat and our Q&A and sort of let me know where things are going on there. So we're glad to see you as well. And I think that's it. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. So here we go. So a lot of this evening is going to be other people talking. So I'm just going to be kind of pushing and punching slides. And so just make sure I hope that you're Please be patient with us. We got a lot of different people talking and I'm kind of controlling their space. So if something doesn't work, you'll just have to be patient with us. As often happens, those of us that were at the school today, as you know, your teachers were, we had nothing but Zoom meetings all day long, and it just requires tons of patience as people move between slideshows. So I'm going to turn it over right now to Ms. Miner, who's going to talk a little bit about understanding graduation pathways.
Thank you. Happy to have the opportunity to clear up a little bit of the confusion that's been going on. I think the confusion is mostly because two reasons. One is always in the past, there has been a test tied to being able to graduate. So it's always been, or in recent history, been more than just earning enough credits to graduate. There has always been some test, most recently ISTEP. The second reason pathways a little confusing would be that we are currently giving ISTEP 10, grade 10, to our 11th and 12th graders. So that makes you think that maybe it's a 10th grade test that we should be taking, but the state has done away with that examination for the class of 2023. So for the class of 2023, we do graduation pathways. And so every single student is working towards not just earning enough credits to graduate and earn a diploma, but also is picking a pathway that will help them earn that diploma. And so at North Central, we call it 3 boxes, and that's just because the form that we've used internally to track students' pathways has 3 boxes on it. And you can see that it's in the course catalog, which is available in the Canvas academic planning course and also on the North Central website. And the first box is a pretty easy one to meet. It's just earn enough credits to earn a diploma, any diploma, honors diploma, IB diploma, Core 40 academic honors, technical honors, any diploma at all. So if you have enough credits to graduate, you have satisfied box 1. Box 2 is where you're going to learn and demonstrate some employability skills. And the easiest way to meet that competency at North Central is to complete the personal project. So for most students in the class of 2023, box 2 will be completed Thursday of this week, which is nice. And that falls under that project-based learning. Service-based learning would be some extended, significant volunteer work. So it's more than just cleaning a park on a Saturday morning. It would be an extended opportunity for students. And then work-based would be using those academic, social, and technical skills that you're learning in school in a place of employment for an extended period of time. And that's how we meet box 2. Box 3 is going to make the student demonstrate that they have post-secondary readiness. And that can be in a number of ways. This box 3 tends to be the harder or the more difficult to satisfy. And so you can see the areas there. One is just by earning an honors diploma, meeting some benchmarks on certain tests like ACT and SAT, which we'll be talking about later. Those are those college-bound standardized tests that we take. Asvab is a military exam, which doesn't mean you have to be going to the military to take that test, but it has some good career information, but meeting the minimum cut score of 31 that you would need to join the military would satisfy box 3 as well. You can take AP, IB, or dual credit. That's what DC stands for, dual credit courses, with one of them being, at least one of them being an academic course. Am I misstating that? It is just one of them being an academic course, a core course, English, math, science, social studies. That can satisfy. And then Ms. Dodd is here and she's from JEL and she'll be talking about how you can also meet that by taking some courses over at JEL, either some certain career technical education pathways or career technical ed CTE concentrators, or earning some state and industry recognized credentials or certifications. So a lot of different ways to meet pathway. And so each student is going to have their own path. And your student is talking with their counselor as we go over courses for next year. We'll continue to talk about that obviously throughout junior and senior year. If you have any question about how your child is meeting that pathway, or what would count for box 2, box 3, just reach out to one of us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Miner. As we go throughout the presentation this evening, do not hesitate to put questions in the Q&A or in the chat if you have them, and we will try to respond to them as quickly as possible throughout, or if we have to, when the meeting is over, we'll follow up. So just as a reminder to do that. I also want to acknowledge that Ms. Johnson is with us this evening on the and through our list of presenters this evening. Ms. Johnson is our new social worker for the 10th grade. So I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that she's there. If you're scrolling around and you're wondering who that is, well, we're so glad to have her with us this evening. So, all right, we're going to move on, and I'm going to invite Miss Dodd to talk a little bit about JEL. Now, this is going to be one of those times when we do a screen switch and share, and she's going to take over a little bit and put up her her presentation. So that may, hopefully that goes okay. And if it doesn't, you'll have to just be patient with us. So Miss Dodd, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk to you about J. Everett Light Career Center and reasons why your student might want to enroll in a class at the Career Center. So I am going to share my screen with you. Can you see my screen now? Is that a no? Okay, got it, I think. Okay, I think you can see my screen now. Is that correct? Very good. Okay, so J. Everett Light Career Center. We are a career center. We are located just behind North Central High School. There's actually a hallway that connects North Central with J. Everett Light Career Center. So North Central students can just walk over to the Career Center to participate in our classes. So tonight I would like to talk to you about some of the benefits of enrolling in the Career Center. Let's begin with dual credits. So our courses, each of our programs is connected with dual credits. They coordinate dual credits with either Ivy Tech or Vincennes University. So for example, a student enrolled in Culinary can earn credits for up to 4 classes. So if they start their culinary career at the Career Center and then transfer to Ivy Tech, they will have already taken up to 4 college classes. So students who are enrolled in the dual credit program are earning high school credit and college credit and leaving high school with transcripts for both high school and college. I want to point out that in order to earn the dual credit, students do have to apply for the dual credit program. And sometimes this post-secondary institution does require a prerequisite. So that might be something like pass an AccuPlacer or show proof of a certain GPA criteria. So keep that in mind as you choose your JEL class. Also, I'll point out that dual credits do align with box 3 of graduation pathways. Another benefit to enrolling into a class at the J. Everett Light Career Center is that most of our classes, well, all of our classes offer certifications, and many of them offer industry and state recognized certifications. So what that means is that those certifications do meet the graduation pathways, and also they're great certifications to put on a student's resume. They set the student apart from other applicants who might not have that certification. So let me give you a couple of examples. We have a health careers CNA prep class, and students in that class are working towards earning a certified nursing assistant certification, a CNA. Our cosmetology students are working towards earning their state cosmetology license. And we have an emergency medical technician program. It's just 1 year long, and students are working towards earning their EMT certification. So again, all of our classes are connected with certifications. Many of them are state and industry recognized and support graduation pathways box 3. Another benefit is that each of our programs is connected to a CTSO. This is a Career Technical Student Organization. This is an opportunity for students to belong to a type of club where they focus on developing leadership skills. They're developing their CTE skills. They're networking with not only students in their class, but also students from other career centers. And they participate in competitions. So they begin with a regional competition, local, and then depending on how they perform, they can move on to state and national competitions. We've had students, go to competitions in Kentucky, Orlando, Florida, Anaheim, California. So just another great opportunity for students who are enrolled at the Career Center. We also recognize students for their academic achievements. We have National Technical Honor Society. So students who are earning a 3.0 or higher cumulative GPA are eligible to apply for the National Technical Honor Society. The pictures that you see on the screen are from a ceremony where we celebrate and induct the students who are joining in THS for the school year. We also offer Governor's Work Ethic Certificate, and this one is important because it does support box 2 of graduation pathways. So students who are earning a 2.0 or higher and show good work ethic can apply for this Governor's Work Ethic Certificate. It is a state recognized certificate through Indiana Department of Education, partnered with Governor's Workforce Cabinet. So those are just two nice academic certifications that are available to students. We pride ourselves on hands-on learning. So I wanted to mention that the feedback we get from our students is that their most memorable times with us are those hands-on learning experiences. We offer authentic, real-life classroom settings. For example, we have an auto shop. We actually have 3 auto shops. We have a cosmetology salon in-house. We have a public restaurant that's open to the public that students run. And those are just a few examples of the on-site hands-on learning opportunities. We also have students who go off-site to learn. So for example, our health career CNA students travel by bus to a senior citizen living home where they work with patients at a senior citizen living home. Our EMT students do some hours, like observation hours in an emergency room. And our vet career students do some work-based learning opportunities in vet clinics around town. I want to just quickly go through these slides because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want you to see what types of classes we offer at the Career Center. We have auto service and manufacturing that includes welding, auto classes, AMT for those who are interested in engineering and maybe robotics. We have IT or technology classes, including digital design and advertising, IT pathways, animation and film, music and sound. We have several different types of health classes, dental careers. I've mentioned CNA prep health careers tonight. We have medical assisting, medical terminology, vet careers, and we also have health exploration for somebody who might not be sure which program they want to enroll in right away, so they can do a health exploration class first. Public safety classes include law enforcement and EMT. We have our cosmetology program. We have education and hospitality classes. You can see there education careers and culinary arts. We have the opportunity for students to take a work-based learning class where they earn high school credits while they go to work and earn money as well. We have some 1-hour, 1-period classes, including Project Lead the Way. For students who are interested in engineering and digital electronics, this is a nice option. We have several business classes, accounting, entrepreneurship, principles of marketing. You can see the list there. We have a great family and consumer science program that offers fashion and textiles, child development, and the other classes that are listed there. So I know I'm throwing out a lot of information to you tonight. Our website is full of information. If any of those programs kind of caught your attention and you want to learn more, I encourage you to go to our website, jelcc.com, where you can learn more about each individual program. We also post a lot to our social media, so it's a great place where you can see pictures and see what's happening around our school. Of course, you can contact me or the program teacher, and your students counselor will also be able to help guide you through what we have to offer at the Career Center. You can see on this page, we have students coming from several different schools: Sheridan High School, Hampton Heights, Carmel, Zionsville, and more. And that's one of the things that makes us unique. We have students from Marion County, Western Boone, and Hamilton County joining us as they participate in career technical education opportunities. So I can be available to answer any questions if there's any questions in the chat.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Dodd. I so appreciate you being willing to step in this evening and join us. And if we do have questions, please feel free to put those in the chat, or you can always send them to your counselor and they can be directed to Ms. Dodd. You can send them to me and we can make sure they get to her as well. So that's awesome.
Okay.
So if you see questions in there and we want to go ahead and answer them, we can go ahead and do that, or we can go ahead and move on. But
Sure. Somebody's asking about the culinary arts certificate. And I think that's a couple questions in there about certificates. So I think what I'd like to do is direct you to the website. There is an area on the website to look at our certifications. Just in the interest of time, I want to make sure I'm not taking up too much of your time.
okay.
There's also my phone number and contact information is on the website as well. So you're welcome to reach out to me tomorrow or anytime that you would like to ask a question.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate you being here this evening. We will get those
Thank you so
questions
much.
answered and we'll follow up. That's
All
awesome.
right. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great night, everybody.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. And now I'm going to move into the Naviance portion. And for this portion, again, we are joined by Miss Salazar. And so Miss Salazar is going to take it over from here, and she's going to have to give me the thumbs up to move on or do whatever you need to do to tell her, say, click ahead. So here we go.
You can go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so Naviance student, hopefully your freshman or when you were a freshman last year that they got into Naviance. And if not, that's okay. I'm going to just talk for a few minutes on the importance of Naviance and all the things that it offers for you guys. So it provides students and parents with a multitude of resources that will help you with your college and career search. So some of the tools that you'll find in Naviance are college profiles, acceptance history from North Central students that had already applied to the same schools. You can explore careers and interests. There are 4 different career assessments. There's the Career Cluster Finder, the Career Key, the Strengths Explorer, and the Career Interest Profiler. So you could have your student do 1, 2, or all 4 of the career assessments. And what's nice about that is it may be able to provide your student with some interests that they hadn't thought of prior, or maybe they do have something in mind and getting their results will help solidify their idea of what they're wanting to do after high school. So those career assessments are a great tool, which will show you where those are at. There's a resume builder in there. So thinking all the way to senior year, students may need to have a resume in case they need a letter of recommendation. So students can start working on their resume now and continue to update it every single year. And then come senior year, students will use Naviance to request transcripts and letters of recommendation. Go ahead. All right, so accessing Naviance. There are 2 different ways that you can get to Naviance. The first way is by going to the high school website and then going to the counseling page. Once you get to the counseling page, on the right-hand side, you will see Naviance and you can select that there. Or if your students are already in Canvas, they can go to the counseling Canvas page and then select college and career. And then they'll see the Naviance section, which will take them straight to Naviance. Next slide, please. All right, so logging into Naviance. Once your student has either gone through the high school website or through the Counseling Canvas page, they will then see this screen here on the right-hand side where they will select student. Next slide. All right, so here's where it gets a little bit tricky. After your student selects student, then everybody's username is going to be their student ID number. So that's going to be the same for all students. Then if your email address, which this is the student's email address, is already in Naviance, all they have to do is select forgot password to receive a temporary password that will be sent to their email address. And they also want to make sure that they check their spam folder just in case that it goes there. And that's how you'll get in. If we do not have your student's email address in Naviance just yet, all you have to do is email Mrs. Stroke. Her email's on the screen, and we will get you added to Naviance. If you would just wait 2 business days, then try the forgot password option, you can use the option that's at the top where you'll just select forgot password. So again, everybody's username is going to be their student ID number. And then it'll just depend on if you can select forgot password because we do have your email address on file, or if we don't have it just yet, then you'll want to email Mrs. Stroke and then we'll get it in there as soon as possible. Next slide, please. Okay, so there are different sections in Naviance. One of the main sections is the colleges section. There is Supermatch, there's scattergrams, which the video in just a few minutes here will actually go into a little bit more detail for you guys. But those are 2 of our most common used sections here under Finding Your Fit. And then you can favorite colleges you're thinking about, so you can go back to them. You can compare different colleges. You can check the acceptance history. And again, you'll see other North Central students' data on there, which is pretty cool. Next slide, please. And then the careers tab. So another area that we're going to show you in the video. There's lots of great information here. Again, this is where you'll find the career assessments. So we have those 4 interest inventories for your students. We have over 8,000 videos under Road Trip Nation. So those videos will range from anywhere from 15 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes long. So your student can find anything there. You can talk about, confidence or different job ideas or descriptions. You can get all the information from those short videos. You can also find virtual college events that are going to be around where your student can sign up and do a virtual college visit. And then you can also explore careers, you can explore career clusters, and again, you can favorite schools that you're thinking about, so that way you can go back and check those schools out at a later time. Next slide, please. And then we'll just show a brief overview of this video, and we can make sure to send it out to you as well if you would like to watch the full thing at a later time.
Welcome to Naviance Student, a mobile responsive college, career, and life readiness platform for students and parents. Personalized for students, it provides tools to explore and plan for personal college and career interests, as well as manage the college application process. This overview will familiarize you with navigating the 4 main planning areas of Naviance Student and introduce you to key features found in the college's Careers, About Me, and My Planner sections. Choose an option on the screen to learn more about Naviance Student.
We'll select key features and then colleges and
Tools in Naviance Student.
So go ahead and hit the...
Go ahead and select colleges.
Use Supermatch College Search in the Colleges section to explore your options and discover colleges that are a match with your academic profile, a fit with what you're looking for in a college, and that offer majors which align to your career interests and future goals. Access the database of colleges using the College Search tool. Review the college profiles in Naviance to learn more about the college, watch a virtual tour, and connect with the school. In the Studies area, find out if the school has the major you're looking for. Use the information on student life to learn about the school size, students who go there, and organizations and services available on campus. In admissions, review scattergrams and find out if the school is a good fit academically based on other students from your school who have applied there. And in costs, learn more about tuition and fees, and even how much financial aid you may be eligible for. If you're interested in the school, add it to your list of favorites. Naviance student, helping you plan for your future today.
And if you select key features again,
In the,
and careers.
in the career section, use the Naviance career search to increase your knowledge of careers, clusters, and pathways. Learn what people do every day at work, educational requirements, average salaries, and more. Find career options that are a good fit for your strengths and interests, and like the ones that interest you to add them to your list of favorites. Also in the career section, you can access the Road Trip Nation interview archive. With over 7,000 videos, you can search for videos by interests and themes to learn about leaders, the hardships they faced, and how they overcame obstacles to achieve success on their own terms. Be inspired to pursue your dreams. Use Supermatch College Search in the Colleges section to explore your options and discover
That was the end of it. So again, that was just a brief overview of Naviance, the college section and the career section. Hopefully you found that to be beneficial, and hopefully you and your students can log in and take a look around to see what Naviance has to offer for you guys. Again, there's those 4 interest inventories, which are a really good help, and the fact that they can start looking at some different schools and compare themselves to other North Central students, I think is really awesome. Just don't forget that everybody's username is their student ID number, and then we'll make sure that we send out the video if you wanted to watch the full 11-minute video. Thank you.
Hey, Ms. Salazar, before you go, can you say a little bit about what, I didn't actually introduce what you do at the school and how you help students and where you're located and all that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so I am in the counseling office and I'm the coordinator of college and career counseling. So I help a lot of seniors when it comes to applying for college, helping them to navigate scholarships, helping them understand their financial aid packages. So we'll actually walk through those together. We'll take a look at the FAFSA, and I've helped plenty of students with their FAFSA, just kind of exploring different colleges and careers. So we'll look at the career assessments together and see what their results were and kind of talk about different schools that might be of interest based off of that. I also try to make sure I make them aware of all of the college options that are available, or all of the virtual college fairs that are coming up, as well as the different career options that are available as well, because we know not everybody plans on going to a 4-year college after high school. So really I can work with any grade level, but primarily it's seniors and juniors right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the information. It was really, really helpful. So I'm sure that there are a lot of questions out there, and we will address those. And are there, Ms. Vincent, you're kind of watching that. Is there anything in there that we can address right now? You want to take a minute to
Yes, Ms. Salazar, can you answer, how do parents gain access to Naviance? Do their students have to add them?
So you can just log in with your students' information if you'd like, or if you would like your own separate account, you can email me and I can get you access to that. But yours will be a little bit different because you won't have those same capabilities. So a lot of times our seniors' parents, they just use their students' username and password. But we can make individual parent accounts.
All right. Is there anything else in there, Ms. Vincent, that's pressing?
Not for Ms. Salazar.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Salazar, once again for joining us this evening. I really appreciate it on a Monday night. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and move forward, and I'm going to have Mr. Matthew talk for just a minute about SAT prep, but it's actually more about kind of just why the SAT and how it sort of fits into the grand scheme at this moment. So Mr. Matthew, if you could take it over for a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Lineweaver. Hello. Good evening. My name is Reagan Matthew. I'm one of the sophomore counselors. So I get to talk about the topic of standardized testing at the end of a webinar. So everybody should be very enthused by that. So with SAT testing, that is a college admissions test. The ACT is a college admissions test as well. So they both have a lot of similarities. We do have a lot of families asking, should you take one versus the other? The similarities are that they both test students in their math, their reading and writing skills. They both are accepted equally by colleges throughout the country. No colleges accept one versus the other. They're both accepted equally and looked upon equally as well. The differences, really two main differences between the two tests. They're put out by different companies, different agencies. SAT is put out by College Board, ACT is put out by ACT. And then the ACT also has a science component. So why have we been focusing on the SAT? Earlier, we talked about how the I-STEP is no longer the exam that is required for the class of 2023 in order to graduate. The new test that is required for the class of 2023 to graduate will be the SAT. We are still waiting on information from the state of Indiana. They are waiting until April with the Indiana General Assembly. They will reconvene in April and will finalize everything, put it into law for students in order to graduate, starting with the class of 2023 by taking the SAT. We don't know much more than that. I did see that there is a testing window. It will be the first week of March in 2022 for students to take the SAT in school. But other than that, we don't have any more information. So that's why we are going forward with making sure everyone is aware that the SAT is a requirement for graduation. Once we know for sure, we will definitely let everyone know what the requirements are, if there are certain scores needed, if it's something where you just need to sit through the test, and then also if there are students who are taking the test outside of the school day. When should students take the test? We've historically always said that students should wait until their junior year to take the SAT or ACT. The reason why is most of the knowledge that is tested on those tests is at a junior level. So it's usually through 11th grade English. It's usually through Algebra 2, and those are typically junior level courses. Some students who are advanced may be able to take it sooner, but we typically say spring of your junior year is the best time to take the SAT or the ACT. So that way you have almost the entire year of knowledge of skill development in those courses specifically before you take the test. When can you take the test? Can you just show up at any point in time and take it whenever you want? Unfortunately, no. There are usually only 6 test dates throughout the year, with the in-school date that will make a 7th date. And that's going to be one that, again, we are going to require students to take next year. Typically, students have to register on their own if they want to take it on one of the weekend test dates on a Saturday. It's usually about a 4.5, 5-hour testing period that students will have to test on a Saturday morning. It's not every test date is offered at every test location. So North Central typically only offers the SAT 4 Saturdays throughout the year. Other schools and other test sites throughout the area may offer it more often. So this ties in with the importance of the PSAT that students took this past year and will take again in October of their junior year. The PSAT is a pretty close test as far as difficulty and length and time of what the SAT is. It's normed to just below what the actual SAT is. The other things that the PSAT can do to help students out as far as preparing is that you can use your PSAT scores that will tie in with Khan Academy, so that way you can have an individualized instruction as far as how to help better develop some of these skills. And students shouldn't feel bad if they didn't get the score that they were looking for on the PSAT. This was a test that was early on in sophomore year. They're still learning the skills that are needed throughout this year. Many students are just now in geometry this year and in sophomore English. So they're learning a lot of the skills that were tested on the PSAT this year, and they will develop those skills over the next year when they take the actual SAT. What else can I do to prepare for the SAT? What else can students do to prepare for the SAT? What else is North Central doing to help students prepare for the SAT? Since this is going to be in law, since this is going to be in a graduation requirement, I've spoken with our math department chair and our English department chair, and they are going to work to have additional skill development in their classes, specifically their junior level classes next year. Working on more practice type questions or similar types of skills and similar types of questions that will be on the SAT. So that way students are more familiar with that type of thinking, with that type of question, and have a better mindset for that. Additionally, Khan Academy is a free online tool that students can use in order to help with skill development. They have practice tests on there. There's not a way to actually study for the test, but there's a way to practice for it. And so putting yourself in scenarios where it's as close to testing as possible is the best way to do that. There are other additional free resources that we can point you out towards. If you are looking for any additional classes, tutoring, paid resources, please contact your counselor individually. That's not something you necessarily need to do right now, but maybe something to do during your junior year of high school. And then also just continue with learning can help out, especially over the summertime. I do encourage students to take summer classes. We have had students take SAT prep classes during summer school that are offered through Indiana Online. There is one elective class that I know a lot of students have signed up for next year called Etymology, the study of words, study of root words, that can also help prepare students for the writing and reading portions on the SAT or ACT, where they learn common words that are on the SAT and ACT. Additional questions, please feel free to contact your counselors. Feel free to contact me directly as well. I'm more than happy to answer questions about SAT or ACT. And again, this is something just to keep in the back of your head, because next year, this will be a graduation requirement that we want to help prepare students for.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew. That was great. Tons of information. Really appreciate you walking us through that. So, Ms. Vincent, is there anything in the question, the Q&A, the chat that we can address right now related to this?
Quick question. Is there a cost involved for taking SAT if it's required for graduation?
Again, we are still waiting on information on that. I believe it is going to be subsidized by the state for the in-school version of it. Any on weekend times or on weekend test dates would be paid by the student. Students who are 21st century scholars, who are on free or reduced lunch, can qualify for test waivers for the SAT or ACT starting their junior year. They do qualify for 2 fee waivers for each of those tests.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you. And we're going to work to wrap it up here. And we are not that far off of time because we are awesome like that. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I have for you this evening a poem. And for those of you that don't know, I've said this before, I am a former English teacher and was the head of the English department for a number of years here, and have a rich history with the language. And anyway, so as a closer this evening, I wanted to give you the opportunity to hear a poem that I shared with some 9th graders as an opportunity on World Read-Aloud Day, which is one of my favorite days of the year, and I only know of because of one of my colleagues in the English department. And I used to read to my students all the time, and I would read to them on Fridays. And so I was thinking that we should sort of consider this poem. It's a poem called Child Lost at the Beach, and it is by Billy Collins. And it's from his book, The Rain in Portugal. And while I read this, I want you to think about some of the things that we've sort of talked about in the last couple of weeks related to hope. And this is a great poem because it kind of turns in a spot. And it's pretty classic Billy Collins. Anyway, it reads like this. This time, a boy had gone missing for so many hours. A television crew had been sent to cover the story, which is how I heard one lifeguard explain to the camera that a lost child will often start walking along the shoreline in the direction of the sun. I took this as a hopeful sign, not because it was a safer choice than toddling into the pounding surf or inland into the parking lot and the traffic beyond, but something about the power of the sun and the bravery of children. That's when I began to picture a long, single file parade of lost children walking through the sand toward the lowering sun before the moment when their parents turned to each other with the shock of the absence, each boy or girl traveling toward the light burning in the distance, hundreds of little explorers striking out into the uncharted territory with nothing but a sun hat, a useless pail and shovel, Lewis without Clark, Clark with no Lewis. The evening news showed the boy being swept up into the glad arms of his parents, you will be pleased to know. But I continued to follow the rest of the children as they disappeared over the horizon, continuing their journey into the days ahead, and in the process blazing a new path across the upper reaches of the continent, thus establishing a solid American presence in the early West. And so one of the things I like about that poem is that much like our year, it has started in crazy and chaos, and we often get nervous and frightened for the future with our kids, and yet I think they are resilient and I think they are brave, and we know that they will move on. And I think that that is so much what our sort of meeting has been about tonight, is what is the future like for them and what are we doing to prepare them for that. And so with that, I am thankful that you chose to be here with us tonight. I look forward to seeing you again on March the 22nd. That is again on Monday, and it is at 7:00 p.m. All the questions that are in the chat and other places, we will go ahead and record those before we're gone this evening, and we will make sure that it is all, all in a place where we can respond to it. I will send out, hopefully, a copy of this video so that if you missed any portion of it, or for the families that could not be here, they can see it, and we can also try to respond to some of the questions that are there. So thank you again to all of our presenters this evening. Thank you for being here. I wish all of you a great night, and we will see you all in another month. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thanks to all my presenters, and thank you to all of you that chose to be here this evening. Thanks, and have a great rest of the night.